Be still and know that you are God. This is Hyptoria, hypnotize you to manifest. If you could manifest anything by doing nothing, would you believe it? That question might stop your mind in its tracks. Good. Let it. Because that pause, that breath of silence between thoughts, that is where your power lives. Not in the forceful planning, not in the hustle, not in the constant striving you've been conditioned to believe is necessary for success. The truth is, everything you desire is waiting in the stillness within you, not 1 inch outside of it. We live in a world that worships noise, busy, hustle, more, and somehow we equate movement with progress. We believe that something must always be happening externally for change to occur, but manifestation isn't born out of motion. It's born out of resonance, alignment, frequency, and frequencies are not tuned through chaos. They are tuned through stillness. Stillness is not emptiness. It is the fullness of you, the real you. It is the divine presence that holds galaxies together and breathes life into your every moment. In stillness, you don't reach for your power. You realize you already are it. This is why the ancient invitation remains undefeated. Be still and know that I am God. Not do more, not try harder. Be still. Stillness is presence. And when you are fully present, you reconnect to the I am awareness, the pure identity that existed before your stories, your roles, your worries. In that space, fear cannot enter. Doubt dissolves. Lack becomes a myth because God knows only completion. And when you rest in that awareness, you begin to see. You've never been lacking anything. You are not the turbulence. You are the sky. And when you return to that knowing, miracles become ordinary because you are finally aligned with the infinite. All creation begins in this vibrational field, the sacred, unshakable stillness that exists beneath thought. This is what shamans, mystics, yogis, and prophets have all known. Silence is not the absence of power. It is the source of it. Lesson 1, the power of stillness. The state akin to sleep, that drowsy receptive realm between waking and dreaming, because it is in those moments of inner quiet that the subconscious is most open. That is not coincidence. Your inner stillness is the canvas on which the divine paints your new world, and you are both the canvas and the painter now. Brain waves slow, the mind softens, the body remembers peace, and from this space, your imagination reconnects with its true authority, not as wishful thinking, but as divine creation. In stillness, imagination becomes not just visualization, but incarnation. It is where you go to feel it done, to drop the desire and dwell in the having. It is the doorway from seen to manifested. You are told that power looks loud, but real power whispers. It is soft, undeniable. Think of the ocean when it's calm. Stillness isn't passive, it is poised perfection. A seed doesn't scream to become a tree. It just surrenders into the silence of the soil, trusting the process that has already been written into its DNA. You too are encoded with destiny, and it blooms not through noise, but through knowing. Stillness is not something you find. It isn't a thing to chase. It is what remains when you stop chasing. You don't create stillness. You return to it, because it is your natural state before thought, before fear, before effort. It's who you are without the conditioning. Close your eyes, breathe, listen, not to your thoughts, but beneath them. There is a rhythm there, a presence. That is divine awareness. That is where the seed of every manifestation takes root. This is the God frequency, where being is enough, where the feeling of fulfillment generates reality, and where your actions are no longer forced, but inspired from stillness. Some of your greatest breakthroughs will not come during frantic action, but in a moment of gentle surrender, the $1 million idea, the healed relationship, the clarity that changes your direction. They arrive like a whisper, not a warning. They arrive when you are still enough to receive them. This lesson is your invitation to deep rest, not the rest of sleep, but the rest of the soul, the kind of rest that heals lifetimes of resistance in a single breath. Yes, you can rest and still rise. In fact, you'll rise higher. Because manifestation is not a result of who works hardest. It's a reflection of who remembers who they are. So, be still and know. Lesson 2. I am that I am. When Moses stood before the burning bush, trembling and unsure, and asked, "Who shall I say sent me?" the voice of God answered with a vibration that still echoes through eternity. I am that I am. It wasn't just a name. It was the key to the universe, whispered into the heart of man. A divine code, a portal, an awakening. This wasn't a distant deity offering credentials. It was a message to Moses and to you. The presence you seek is you. All of creation responds to this one eternal truth. I am. Everything that exists in your experience flows through the gate of what you claim yourself to be. Your statements of I am are not mere words. They are sacred decrees, invisible orders sent out from the throne of the soul, commanding reality to align. Whether you whisper, I am powerful, or I am stuck, the creative forces echo, so it is. But here's the revelation. You are not the conditions you've accepted. You are not your past, your bank account, your relationship status, your history, your mistakes, your doubt. These are costumes, temporary roles played on the divine stage. Beneath it all, there is only the actor, the timeless presence of I am, untouched, unchanged, eternal. You don't need to become God. You don't need to chase divinity. You are the divine expressing through form. You are the eternal I am clothed in skin, exploring itself as vision, desire, and experience. Begin to feel into that. Dissolve the masks. Let go of the heaviness of false identity, the burden of being someone you're not. Let I am become lighter, more expansive, more open. Let it be felt. The moment you stop attaching conditions to your I am, you return home. You are not, I am tired, I am broken, I am behind. These are illusions passed through shallow mind chatter. When you slow down, when you breathe, listen, and become still, you'll find the truth already waiting beneath the noise. I am, full stop, pure being, pure consciousness, the gate through which all manifestation flows. This is not about positive thinking or forcing affirmations that don't feel real. This is embodiment. When you say, I am abundance, but inwardly feel lack, you've only dressed the wound in prettier language. The work is deeper, gentler, spiritual remembering. How would it feel to simply be the thing you've been trying so hard to get? Don't reach, envision. Don't try, identify. The keys you've been searching for in methods, effort, endless healing are hidden in what you are, not what you do. I am is not a tool. It is who you've always been. This is the secret behind every miracle, every answered prayer, every manifestation. You step into an identity before it becomes visible. You feel it real. You say, I am healthy, not because you are trying to manifest health, but because your spirit knows no sickness. You say, I am love, not to attract a partner, but because that's your true essence, the eternal current flowing through your being. Speak it in silence. Whisper it in stillness. Declare it in the middle of contradiction. Not to fight reality, but to create it, to lay the blueprint on which the world must rise. Each time you say, I am, you choose a direction. You bend the unseen toward form. You shift timelines. The only question that matters is, who do you say that you are? From this moment forward, you are the author of I am. I am joy. I am infinite. I am chosen. I am free. Let these be not just words, but the felt vibration in your bloodstream, the atmosphere you walk in, the frequency your world orbits around. It's time to be deliberate, elevated, conscious. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. But even before the feeling must come identity. Assumption isn't effort, it's acceptance, claiming what already belongs to the divine you. So now, release the names the world has given you. Let go of every limitation you've memorized. Stand in front of your own inner burning bush, that sacred stillness within, where God softly speaks not in thunder, but in truth. And here again, for the first time, I am that I am. Lesson 3. Awareness is God. There is only one true power in this universe, And it is not hidden in temples, not locked in books, not reserved for saints or mystics. It is living where you are, breathing as you, watching through your eyes. It is your pure, unconditioned awareness. Everything you've ever known or experienced has appeared inside this awareness. The emotions, the stories, the desires, the so-called problems, and the fleeting victories. But if you look closely, you'll see. None of these things are who you really are. They are what is seen, not the seer. Thought is not the thinker. Condition is not the self. You can observe all that changes, yet you remain the silent presence behind it. Timeless, true, infinite. This awareness, this I am behind all appearances, is God. Not a religious figure floating in the sky, not a man judging from a cloud, but the eternal witness within you, the formless life watching through your form. You are not the waves on top of the ocean. You are the ocean itself, deep, calm, creating every wave, yet untouched by any one of them. Everything you call your life begins inside this awareness. The images you see, the interpretations you assign, the meanings you've given to things, all arise in and are shaped by the lens of your consciousness. Neville said, "Change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live." Why? Because the world you live in is an echo of who you believe you are within that awareness. Pause for a moment and listen, not to your thoughts, but to what is aware of your thoughts right now. Can you sense the open space behind your thinking mind? That is you, the true self, the I am before the labels. You were aware before you ever called yourself a name, declared yourself successful or struggling, spiritual or skeptical. You were there before the storyline began, pure, silent, boundless. When you know yourself as awareness, you realize nothing external can truly happen to you. Circumstances arise in your field of awareness, just as clouds float across the sky. They are temporary shapes, but you are not the cloud. You are the sky, open, untouched, eternal. This understanding is the foundation of all effortless manifestation. Because when you become aware of being, you step out of struggle. You stop trying to force your reality to shift, and instead realize it already rises and falls within your consciousness. Like a dream within the dreamer. You no longer fight the dream. You awaken to your role as dream maker. The world is not responding to what you want. It is reflecting what you are aware of being. Be aware of lack, and lack appears in form. Be aware of wholeness, and wholeness will echo throughout your life. You are the cause. You are the source. When you stop clinging to the content of your life and begin resting as the awareness behind it, everything begins to rearrange automatically. Not through force, but by law. This is why stillness is so powerful. In stillness, the mind stops identifying with stories and returns to the infinite I am. The illusion of being a separate self crumbles, and what's left is the freedom of God awareness. You realize that nothing truly needs to be added to you. You are already whole, and it is your pure being, this spacious inner knowing, that manifests reality around you. So instead of rushing to change, pause to observe. Notice what is arising. Feel what it feels like to be aware of an experience rather than inside of it. That shift from unconscious reaction to conscious awareness is the key to all creation. When you are no longer possessed by your thoughts, you reclaim your power as the thinker. When you are no longer defined by an emotion, you remember your divine capacity to choose which feelings to dwell in. Be still and know that I am God. Not someday, not when things settle down, right now, right here, in this breath, in this moment where nothing is missing and everything is already whole. Return again and again to this knowing, not as a belief, but as a felt experience. Sit quietly and become aware that you are aware, noticing that awareness is constant, spacious, and free. Noticing that everything else, roles, relationships, fears, victories, are simply forms passing through you. You, the awareness in which it all appears. You are not your mind's commentary. You are not your body's conditions. You are the awareness of all of it. And this awareness, this eternal presence, is God. Once you know this, deeply and truly, you stop chasing power, because you realize you have never been without it. You are the light behind the eyes, the space between the thoughts, the calm in the storm. Be still and know. Lesson 4. The silence that creates worlds. Silence is not the absence of something. It is the presence of everything. We've been taught to fill the void, fill our minds with thoughts, our schedules with tasks, our hands with effort. But what if the power to create, the very force that births worlds, rises not from doing, but from stillness? What if the purest creative energy doesn't come through striving, but through surrendering into silence? For most, silence can feel uncomfortable, even threatening. It reveals the thoughts we haven't made peace with, the emotions we've tried to outrun. But this sacred stillness is not your enemy. It is the divine whisper beneath the noise, and that whisper is God. This silence you've been avoiding, it's the space where the unseen takes shape. In the silence, you are not waiting for the miracle, you become the miracle. It is here that your soul expands beyond limitation, beyond logic, beyond circumstance. And in this expansion, your reality begins to rearrange. You don't need to force life into form. You only need to know, in silence, that all things move for you. Because in silence, you return to source. You return to power. You return to I am. The mind chatters. It spins stories, builds identities, recalls past wounds, rehearses future fears. It wants to plan, to fix, to do. But the still mind does none of that. It listens. And in that pure listening, in that awareness pregnant with potential, new worlds are born. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and let it drop. That letting go is silence. True creation does not cling. It does not repeat the affirmation like a spell, hoping to force the universe's hand. True creation speaks it internally once, as a creator, and then allows the silence to do what only silence can do. This is the mystery. It is not your repetition, not your willpower, not even your visualization that manifests. It is the power that moves through the silence after them. The gardener may plant the seed, but it is the still soil that knows how to grow it. In the silence, you withdraw your energy from the external world. You reclaim it from false identities, from anxious expectations, from reactive living. You return that sacred energy inward, into being, into breath, into presence. And it is here, in this space of no effort, that the truth emerges. You are already whole, already divine, already fulfilled. Not trying to become God, but remembering in the precious hush between thoughts that you are and always have been. The silence does not ask you to do more. It invites you to know more deeply. And in this knowing, manifestation becomes inevitable, not by demand, but by divine congruence. You magnetize your desires not by needing them, but by understanding you already are them in essence. Stop seeking within noise what only silence can reveal. Let the world be loud. Let it clamor for answers and chase outcomes. You stay still. Fall into silence often, even for moments. Let it cleanse the static, soften your edges, bring you home. The deepest prayers are not spoken, they are breathed. The greatest creations are not forced, they are allowed. The most profound shifts do not come as explosive breakthroughs, but as quiet inner knowings, gently arising from silence. This is the divine paradox. The less you try, the more you become. The more still you are, the more you vibrate. And the more you trust the silence, the more it speaks to the universe on your behalf. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to race. You don't even have to ask. You only have to be in stillness, in silence, in sacred knowing. Because in that silence lives a frequency that no thought can touch, the God frequency. And when you align with that, entire realities bow before you. Step back from the noise, beloved. There is nothing to fear in the silence anymore. There is only you, and that is enough to create universes. Lesson 5. You are not becoming, you already are. What if everything you've ever wanted was already yours the moment you desired it? We've been taught to believe in the myth of delay. That manifestation is a chase, a climb, a long spiritual scavenger hunt that only the worthy complete. But the truth is far more radical and far more liberating. You are not becoming anything. You already are. This this exquisite, unrepeatable now, holds everything. There is no journey outside of time that need be traveled. The self you long to embody already exists within you. You're not here to acquire it, you're here to remember it. Desire is not a signal of lack. It's a divine remembrance, an echo of a truth you already possess. When you wish, it's not because you're far from the thing you want. It's because you're being reminded of your closeness to it. You can't desire what you're not a vibrational match to. The very yearning is proof of proximity. Stop striving. Stop waiting. Stop identifying with the gap between you and the thing you seek. Because that gap, it's an illusion, a mirage at the edge of thought. The moment you desire, creation is already complete in the invisible realm. The only thing left is your agreement, your alignment, your knowing. You don't attract abundance, you are abundance. You don't become love, you are love. When you sink into the present moment and rest there, not mentally grasping for the future, not clenching to results, you'll feel something stir inside you, a quiet power. That's your true self. It never left, it never needed improvement. The ego makes chasing feel holy, but true manifestation isn't about action, it's about identity. God doesn't strive to create. God says, "Let there be," and it is. In stillness, in unwavering knowing, miracles arrive. They blossom not from effort, but from embodiment. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That means live as though you already are the version of you who has it. Think like them, speak like them, move like them in consciousness. Not because you must convince the universe, but because you are returning to your natural state. You are not deceiving reality. You are unveiling it. Shift from "I want" to "I am." I want health keeps you wanting. I am radiant health returns you to your power. When you rest in the identity of a thing, the world has no choice but to shape itself around it. Consciousness is always organizing itself to reflect your dominant assumption of self. What you most deeply believe you are reveals itself through everything. So, breathe now. What do you desire? Close your eyes. Can you feel that it's already done? Can you dare to touch the vibration of it inside your being, not needing anything on the outside to confirm it, but simply feeling it true? That is the secret. When others hustle and chase and grind, you remember. You return inward. You become still. Not because you're lazy, because you're divine. Because you're not trying to become something you're not. You're owning what you've always been. You are not on a treadmill of becoming. You are on a throne of being. And when you truly live from that throne, when you wear the crown of "I am" with no doubt, no apology, the world bows to reflect it. Circumstances shift, people appear, money flows, healing happens, love arrives. Not because you've earned it, but because you've aligned with what always was. Manifestation is not a reward, it is a mirror. When you say, "I already am," something profound unlocks. That single sentence severs the chain of striving. You don't have to climb the mountain. You realize you are the mountain, and everything you've wanted is already contained within you. Not as potential, but as truth. So be still now. Feel the sacred yes of life flowing through you. You are not on the verge of becoming anything. You are already everything. You are not waiting for the light. You are the light, remember? Lesson 6. Feel it real, the secret of manifestation. The universe does not respond to your words. It responds to your vibration. It listens not to what you say, but to what you feel. To feel is to speak the ancient language of creation. This is the secret whispered to the world. Feeling is the secret, and it has been hiding in your heart all along. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine your desire fulfilled, not as a distant hope, but as a living, breathing truth happening right now. What does it feel like in your body? What emotion begins to flutter in your chest, bloom in your belly, soften your breath? That feeling, that is the magic. That is the prayer answered in real time. It doesn't matter how far away your dream looks in the mirror of the world. The only distance that counts is how close you are to the feeling of already having it. Because once you feel the wish fulfilled, reality has no choice but to catch up. You are not waiting for life to bring you a reason to feel loved, secure, powerful, free. You are the one who grants yourself that permission. The outside will echo it when the inside becomes it. That's how creation works, not through effort, but through embodiment. When Neville said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled," he was offering you the key to the kingdom. Not to wish, not to beg, not to hope, but to feel it now. In the silence of stillness, when your mind releases its grip on logic and probabilities, you access the realm of imagination, and your imagination is divine. This is where all things are made. Play here. Your imagination is not child's play. It is God's play. It is sacred. It is how worlds are born, not just stories. When you close your eyes and enter the inner sanctuary of your being, you are no longer bound by circumstance, by time, by limitation. In that space, you can be anyone and feel anything. And in doing so, you become it. So, how does it feel to be chosen, to be deeply loved, to live in your dream house, speak on that stage, create a life so beautiful it takes your breath away? Not someday. Now, feel it real. Let the chill rise in your spine. Let the smile spread across your face. Let the tears of joy fall if they come. That vibration is speaking to the entire universe. And the universe is always listening. You don't manifest by thinking harder. You manifest by feeling deeper. The mind creates outlines. The heart breathes life into them. Thoughts are like seeds, but feeling is the soil. Without emotion, your affirmations are dry. When you feel them, they become drenched in life force, alive with momentum. Everything you desire, the wealth, the health, the love, the peace, it exists now in the quantum field, vibrating in a frequency that can't be reached through doing, only through being. And being is birthed through feeling. It's not about forcing emotion. It's about resting in the reality of your ideal fulfilled, like slipping into a warm bath after a long day. You sink into it. You let it wrap around you. You let it be true, with no resistance. That is the art. That is the secret. Can you live from that state for a few moments a day? Can you walk the earth as if it is already done? That's the invitation. That's the practice. You don't need to convince anyone else. You only need to convince your nervous system, and it responds to the language of feeling. So, honor that tingling moment when it feels real. Treasure the vivid inner scene that makes your breath catch. Celebrate the goosebumps that come from imagining your future self, laughing, dancing, standing in awe. Those are not fantasies. Those are previews. And this feeling is the bridge. You are not chasing your dream. You are remembering how it feels to already live it. The power that moves mountains, calms storms, and births galaxies waits for the signal of your feeling. Not just daydreaming, not just wishing, but the inner knowing that it is already done. That knowing has nothing to do with sight. It's an unshakable calm, a sacred ease. You will feel it, and when you do, let that feeling saturate every cell. Carry it with you like a fragrance. Let it inform your choices, your posture, your tone, and your silence. Because once you feel it real, the outer world will bow to reflect the truth you found within. It always does. You're not casting spells. You are aligning with the source energy that responds to your state. And when your state is the wish fulfilled, your world must rearrange to mirror that frequency. You don't need more effort. You don't need to convince yourself. You only need one sacred moment where it feels so real you smile as if it's already yours. Because in that moment, it is. Lesson 7. Consciousness is the only reality. There is only one creative power in this universe, and that power is your consciousness. Everything you will ever see, touch, own, lose, love, fear, or celebrate arises from this one source. Your world is not formed from circumstance. It is breathed into being from the invisible field of your own awareness. What you are conscious of being, not what you wish for, pray for, plead for, becomes your world. Take that in for a moment. There is nothing outside of you that holds authority, no condition, no person, no delay. Only your inner assumption, the silent convictions you carry, project as the experience you walk through. To shift your life, you don't wrestle with appearances. You don't argue with shadows. You return to the light within, and you change what you are being aware of. Neville said, "Consciousness is the only reality. Consciousness is the cause. Conditions are effects." These words are not poetic. They are a secret code, a divine formula disguised in simplicity. If you understand this, truly, you are free. free from the tyranny of effort, free from the lie that change begins out there. It never did. There is no out there. It is all in here, within the field of your self-awareness. You are not a camera recording external events. You are the projector. You are casting the film of your internal state, your beliefs, your self-concept, your assumptions, onto the screen of the world. Every scene you walk through is your own imagination externalized. When a new desire is born in you, don't seek evidence. Don't ask the world for permission. Withdraw attention from appearances and enter again the holy ground of your imagination. Feel yourself already in the state desired. Dwell in it. Saturate your mind with the tones of fulfilled satisfaction. And then, let it go. The seed has already been planted. The outer world, which is only a mirror, will reflect it back in season. What appears as physical reality is just yesterday's assumption crystallized. Your current environment is the echo of what you once believed. But here's the miracle. The moment you shift your inner identity, your mirror must change. It is law. And manifestation is not a reward for hard work. It is a shadow dancing at the feet of your awareness. If you say to yourself, "But I don't see it yet," remind yourself that looking outside for confirmation is placing faith where none exists. The only reality is within. Your inner state is the root. The world you see is just the fruit. You water the root by assuming the feeling of the wish already fulfilled. You don't beg the fruit to change. You nourish what's underneath, your consciousness, and you let the rest come. Let it be this simple. What you are aware of being is what you experience. If you are aware of being abundant, even when your wallet is empty, life begins to shape itself around that awareness. If you are aware of being loved, even when no one is calling, love will arrive because it must. Life listens to your awareness, not your words. You are not mere flesh. You are not subject to fate. You are consciousness in form, divine, sovereign, and infinitely creative. And this truth will not only set you free, it will reintroduce you to the authorship you forgot you had. You are not reading the pages of life. You are writing them. Practice this sacred knowing in stillness. Each day, return to yourself. Not to try harder, not to fix, but to remember. Still the mind, quiet the noise, and place your attention deliberately within. What are you aware of being? Who are you imagining yourself to be? That alone is the fertilizer of your life. Consciousness is not complicated. It is quiet. It is pure. And when you return to it, untainted by fear or force, you find it already contains everything you've been seeking. That lover, that home, that wealth, those dreams. They are not coming to you. They are emerging from you. So, don't chase answers outside. Don't wait for circumstances to tell you it's time. Begin now, within, by assuming the consciousness of the already fulfilled. Because the truth is eternal, and it is this. Consciousness is the only reality. Everything else is smoke. Close your eyes, feel yourself into that truth. And from this day forward, walk not by sight, but by inner knowing. The mirror will reflect what's in front of it. So, become in consciousness what you wish to see, and let the world catch up. Lesson 8, let it be done unto you. Let go. Just for a moment, release the grip, unclench the mind, stop trying so hard to make it happen. Breathe. Can you feel the peace waiting underneath the effort? It's always been there, that quiet assurance like the calm after the rain. That knowing that nothing is broken, missing, or delayed. That's what it feels like to live in full surrender to your God self. This is not about waiting or being passive. It's about coming into alignment with the truth that it is already done. He calleth those things which be not as though they were. These ancient words are not metaphor. They're instruction. They're a gateway to effortless manifestation. You speak as if it already is, because in the realm of the eternal, it already is. Before the world reflects it, you must receive it internally. The divine creative force does not beg, plead, rush, or chase. It allows. It knows. There's a sacred posture in manifestation, and it's called receiving. Not forcing, not doubting, receiving. You are a divine vessel, not a machine. You are an open channel, not a factory. In the stillness of your being, in the quiet confidence of I am, Your highest reality enters your field, not because you earned it, but because you finally allowed it. Let it be done unto you. How easy it sounds, and yet how rare it is for us to trust that deeply. The mind wants to accomplish, the ego wants to strategize, but the soul already knows. Creation is finished. All that remains is to align and allow. And this is the grace most people never taste, because they're too busy chasing what was trying to find them all along. The moment you rest in the end, fully, vividly, completely, manifestation becomes like the blooming of a flower, natural, effortless, obvious. You are not the doer. You are the receiver of the done. Let there be light, God said in the beginning. He did not say, let me work on creating light. He said, let there be, and it was. This is the energy of surrender, not resignation, but resting in divine certainty. When you say, let it be done unto me, you are stepping into the vibration that makes manifestation inevitable. You are no longer arguing with reality. You are no longer pretending to be less than God. Do not confuse surrender with settling. Do not mistake allowing as apathy. This is not the art of giving up. It is the art of letting in. When the desire arises in your heart, whether it's love, abundance, healing, freedom, it is not a test. It is not a tease. It is your future self calling you to remember what is already yours. You wouldn't want it if it didn't already exist within you. And here's the mystery you've been missing. You don't have to make it happen. You only have to become the version of you that it's already happening to. This is the frequency of fulfilled prayers, the inner echo of Mary's words, "Be it unto me according to thy word." That was not submission to fate. It was radical trust in divine instruction. She wasn't striving. She was receiving what had already been declared. And so should you. Can you feel how everything relaxes the moment you stop controlling? Can you sense the presence rising when you stop resisting what is? Close your eyes and let go of how it should come. Let go of when. Let go of who understands and who doesn't. If your being feels peaceful, your path is clear. That's your sign, that's your confirmation. All else is noise. You are not here to struggle your way into a miracle. You are here to open yourself wide enough to let the miracle pour through. Because it is never about deserving. It is about aligning. It is about knowing that what you desire is already yours, and saying yes to it without needing to force the how. Let it be done unto you, for it already has been. Now, rest, and watch everything rearrange itself in your favor. Lesson 9, the wish already fulfilled. Close your eyes for a moment and feel it, the soft hum in the air, the gentle throb of a reality already formed. Your desire isn't far away. It's not waiting in tomorrow or hiding behind some perfect plan. It's already done. It already exists. Not in some imaginary future, but in the sacred now, in consciousness. To manifest effortlessly is to stop becoming and begin remembering. The wish is already fulfilled. We do not create by effort, but by assumption. Assumption is a mystical act, stepping into the version of reality where your desire has already occurred. Not hoping, not longing, but knowing. Living as if what you desire is already yours, because in truth, it is. The moment you feel the reality of the wish fulfilled, deeply and sincerely, you begin broadcasting a new frequency. You are no longer asking life for something. You are being the one who already has it, and life, like a mirror, reflects the vibration you offer. This is the law of assumption, not a technique, but a return home to the frequency of your wish, already answered. Stop waiting, stop doubting. Instead, dare to feel it real, now. Get comfortable in that scene where it already happened. The deal closed, the healing completed, the love embraced, the bank account full. That state exists in you. It is because you can imagine it that it already is. Think of this. There are infinite versions of you unfolding simultaneously in consciousness. One is still waiting. One is busy trying. One is doubting herself. And yet another, the one closest to your divinity, is already experiencing the desire as done. When you assume a state, you shift into that version of yourself. Reality bends, not because you forced it, but because you aligned with it. You didn't get lucky. You became congruent. This isn't acting, it's remembering. You are not becoming someone new. You are shedding the illusion of who you thought you had to be and returning to who you truly are. The God self doesn't beg. It doesn't hustle or hope. It declares, it assumes, it rests, and it receives. The secret isn't in asking, but in assuming. When you assume the end, you signal to your subconscious mind to arrange all circumstances in harmony with that end. Life becomes effortless, not because there are no steps, but because you are no longer pushing uphill. You're gliding from the flow of fulfilled faith. You live from the answer, not toward it. How would you move if it were already true? What would you stop doing because you no longer need to strive for it? More than that, how would you feel, deeply feel, if it were real? Right now. That feeling is your access point. That emotion is the energetic password into your new dimension. Reality isn't linear, it's vibrational. There's no calendar in the higher self. Everything is now. So, if you wait for it to appear to feel it, you've reversed the law. Feel it, and then it must appear, in a form and timing that reflects your most congruent vibration. The moment you feel the naturalness of the wish fulfilled, not the euphoria or the excitement, but the peaceful knowing, of course it's mine. You've entered your true manifesting state. This is not pretending. This is presence. You're not faking it. You're stepping into truth before the senses can catch up. If you can live in the end, in your mind, in your heart, in your breath, the outer world has no choice but to conform. This is the secret Jesus carried when he said, "Whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." He didn't say beg for it. He didn't say wait and suffer until it happens. He said, believe you already have it. That is the key. That is the code. So stop looking for confirmation. You are not a slave to circumstances. You are the architect of reality, and the blueprint of every world is written in imagination, vivid, alive, and assumed. The more you dwell in the feeling of it already being so, the sooner it must harden into fact. Live from the end. Buy the clothes your new self would wear. Walk like the one who already succeeded would walk. Talk as the one who already knows. You are not manifesting anything new. You are choosing what already exists and locking in your frequency to it. Even if physical evidence hasn't yet arrived, inside, the decision is final. This is not about forcing reality to comply. This is about shifting identity, from seeker to source, from effort to embodiment, from becoming to being. The wish isn't out there, it's in you now. And when you touch it, even for a second, it begins to arrive. In divine stillness, dare to say, it is done, and let life rush forward to obey. Lesson 10, you are the cause of it all. Everything you see is the echo of a single cause, your consciousness. The moment you truly grasp this, the game changes. You stop reacting and begin consciously creating. You no longer look to the outside world for answers, validation, or power, because you realize everything begins and ends in you. There is no other cause, not luck, not chance, not destiny written by the stars. You are the scriptwriter, the actor, the audience, and the stage. Your inner state writes the story. That deep feeling you carry, whether acknowledged or ignored, shapes the entire world around you. Why? Because you are God wearing a human mask. Every experience you've had, every person you've attracted, every triumph or heartbreak, they all flowered from the invisible seeds planted in your consciousness. This is not blame, it is liberation. If you caused it, you can change it. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are the author of them. There is no one to change but self. This sentence seems simple, even dismissive, but it is one of the most powerfully encoded truths in creation. When you try to change the outer world without first adjusting the inner world, you find resistance, delay, and confusion. But when you shift internally, when you embody the state of your desired reality, the outer must rearrange itself to match. Think of your reality like a mirror. You don't reach into the mirror to comb your hair. You fix the reflection by adjusting the original from within. The mirror doesn't lie. It reflects what it sees. If your life is repeating a certain pattern, it is not a punishment. It is a message from your deeper consciousness saying, this is still active. This belief, this fear, this assumption, it still governs you. When you feel helpless or overwhelmed by life, it's not because life is big and you are small. It's because you've momentarily forgotten your role as cause. You've identified with the reflection instead of the source. But all it takes is one moment of remembrance, one sacred pause to reclaim, I am the cause. It doesn't matter what your past looks like. It doesn't matter what others say is realistic. What matters is who you assume yourself to be now. If you take on a new inner identity, life will obey it with mathematical precision. This is not personal, it's law. Let's say you're facing lack, maybe in your bank account, your relationships, or your sense of self-worth. You've tried affirmations, you've tried working harder, pushing more, and still you feel stuck. That's because at some level, you're still assuming the identity of someone without power, lacking, waiting. The solution isn't another effort, it's authority, it's identity. What does the version of you who already has the abundance think, feel, and act like? Not in imagination, but as a state of being. Live from that identity, not toward it. You don't become rich, loved, or free. You assume it. Be it now, feel it now, know it now. You are the cause of your abundance because you are the awareness in which wealth exists. You are the cause of your healing because you are the life force itself. You are the cause of your relationships, your joy, your expansion, because all arise in you, through you, as you. Every time you remember this truth, your world begins to follow. Life does not create your consciousness. Your consciousness creates your life. Say that with me. Let it breathe through you. My awareness is the only cause. In this sacred truth, there is no need for striving, only a remembering, a returning, a soft opening to yourself. When you sit in stillness and revisit the God within, you touch the control panel of your universe. You shift everything, not by force, but by assumption, through identity, through being. The law is always working. Whether you're conscious of it or not, it's operating through your beliefs, your feelings, your assumptions. Lift yourself into a new version of self, not by effort, but by decision. Now you understand why we say, be still and know that you are God. Because in stillness, your true power is revealed, and it is boundless. You no longer need to wait for change. You are the change, the projector, never the screen, the first spark, not the echo. You are the cause of it all, and that is the greatest power of all. Lesson 11. No effort, just identity. You do not manifest by trying, you manifest by remembering. There is a moment, sacred, subtle, and silent, when you realize that nothing more is needed, not another method, not another hustle, not another step. Because in that moment, your being collapses into truth. You already are the version of yourself that you previously chased. Creation is finished. The work is done. Manifestation, then, is not about effort. It's about identity. Your power lies not in movement, but in knowing. All spiritual masters, in some form, awaken us to this. Your outer world only ever echoes the story you're telling inside. When you identify with lack, life reflects lack. When you identify as divine, life rearranges itself around your godhood. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. And who you are is already everything. There is an invisible current that runs through you, beneath your thoughts, beyond your personality, untouched by the noise of the world. It doesn't strive, it doesn't force, it doesn't wish, it simply is. And that current is, I am, the eternal identity within you, the version of you that never changed, even before time began. Every manifestation you've ever desired, the love, the abundance, the success, the wisdom, that version of you already exists in consciousness. To manifest it doesn't require struggle, it requires surrender. Not to something outside you, but to the divine identity within you. Let that unlock you. Imagine going through your day not begging the universe for alignment, but walking as the embodiment of alignment itself. You do not ask for peace, you radiate peace. You don't affirm endlessly for wealth. You identify as wealth. You don't chase love. You know deeply that you are love. Identity precedes experience, always. Let this replace all effort. When the seed of an oak tree is in the ground, it never tries to become the oak. It simply is. It holds within it a knowing so ancient and encoded that its only job is to remain rooted, to receive light, and to be what it already is. The growth isn't effort, It's alignment with its innate identity. You are the same. The more you try to become what you already are, the more you delay it. You introduce resistance into a process that is actually effortless. You stir up waters that are trying to mirror your truth. The trying whispers, "I'm not there yet." But your true identity says, "I've never left." That's the secret. When you live from the state of your desired identity, rather than towards it, everything you once chased begins to chase you. Manifestation becomes magnetic, natural, inevitable. Because you're no longer trying to create from separation. You're radiating from union. You are no longer the seeker. You are the source. God never strains to create. The sun never struggles to shine. Why then should you? That effort you've been taught to glorify, the grind, the hustle, the need to prove yourself, is the death of magic. It is rooted in the belief that you must earn what is already yours. But grace doesn't respond to effort. It responds to embodiment. And embodiment is effortless. True power is calm. It doesn't need applause to be real. It doesn't need validation to be whole. It knows what it is. Can you feel that power softly waking up inside you right now? Not through adrenaline or noise, but through a sacred stillness that whispers, "I am already this." You don't need to overcome your fears. Just stop identifying with them. You don't need to control external outcomes. Just live from the reality where they have already happened. You don't need to force manifestation. Just let your state of being do the talking. This is the quiet revolution, not of more effort, but of faithful identity. Of looking in the mirror and seeing not your history, but your truth. Of walking into a room not as someone who hopes to succeed, but as someone for whom success is inevitable. So now, take a breath. Feel the stillness behind the thoughts. That stillness is you. Be that stillness. Be that identity. And let the world rearrange itself, not because you tried harder, but because you finally stopped pretending to be less than God in form. You don't need to chase. You don't need to try. You only need to remember, I already am. Lesson 12, live as God now. You do not need to ascend. You are not moving toward your divinity. You are moving from it. The truth that changes everything is this. You already are what you seek, right now. Without needing to fix yourself, earn anything, or wait for permission. The curtain has lifted. The illusion has cracked. And the still, quiet voice within is calling you to remember, you are God in disguise, not a distant God in the sky, not a deity sitting in judgment, but God as life itself, individualized, embodied, and creating through the power of consciousness. To live as God now is to stop rehearsing who you think you are and start expressing who you truly are. I am, pure awareness, eternal presence, unshakable knowing. You do not become this with effort. You assume this is truth. Let that truth wash over every area of your life. The relationships, the bank balance, the body, the business, the identity. When you declare I am, you are not describing a version of you that needs improvement. You are issuing a spiritual decree that reality must obey. You're not asking the universe to bless you. You are the universe blessing itself through you. Begin living as though it is already done, because in consciousness, it always is. When the feeling of being God, powerful, loving, certain, and lackless, becomes your dwelling place, you stop reacting and begin creating. You stop chasing and begin attracting. Your state precedes your world. Living as God means you do not look to external evidence for confirmation. You are the evidence. You walk as the assumption fulfilled. You wear the version of yourself that already has the result, and you do it without doubt, without waiting for a sign. Your imagination fused with knowing is creation. But, oh, how the mind protests. It whispers, you're being delusional. You need proof. You're just human. The mind, so loyal to its limitations, doesn't yet understand the law. It doesn't realize that what you persist in imagining must manifest. So you go deeper, beneath thought, beneath fear, into stillness, into being. And from that sacred stillness, you rise, not with effort, but with remembrance, not with striving, but with surrender to who you already are. Imagine waking up every day and asking yourself, what would God think today? What would God feel? How would God walk into this meeting? answer this email, look into the mirror, the answer is always the same. God thinks with clarity. God feels love. God walks with authority. God blesses everything it sees. This is not about arrogance. It's about authorship. It's about reclaiming your rightful place as the creator, not the victim, of your life. There's no humility in shrinking to please the world. There is only power in radiating the truth of what you are. Start now. Right now, as you read these words. Drop the personas. Release the masks. The world doesn't need another person trying to get it right. It needs one who knows. There is no future where you will become powerful. There is only this moment revealing that you've always been. This is the great remembering. When you live as God now, you step out of time and into causation. You stop asking, when will it happen? And begin saying, it is happening because I am. This isn't fantasy. This is law. This is the divine order unfolding through consciousness. The resurrection has already occurred within you. The moment you abandoned limitation and stood in the fullness of your being, you are the second coming of your own awakening, and now is the only time. So live it, breathe it, speak it. Don't wait for the world to reflect it. Become it, and the world cannot resist your reflection. You are not here to play small roles in a movie written by fear. You are the script, the actor, and the director. Rewrite the scene. Assume the state. Speak the word. Live as God now, and the universe will answer accordingly, not because it is listening, but because it is you.